Hey everyone, we're doing some Valor Ridge. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the kneeling position and some things that can help you get better, getting down and getting into it, things that you can do even if you've got injuries. Let's go ahead and get started. So as a teacher, we get different types of students. We get people of different ages. I've had people in their early teens all the way into people in their 80s at various physical capabilities. You know, some people are healthy. Some people are having injuries. They've got to recover from injuries, or they have had situations before where they've had knee replacements, they've had back replacements, they have had foot issues, ankle issues, neck issues, back issues. And I've had many students that I trained that were even missing limbs altogether. So one thing that we want to focus on is techniques that can work across the board for everybody. Now, one thing that I do, you know, I shoot in this just to show you guys that the techniques work with or without equipment. A lot of times I just shoot it slick, you know, with nothing on. Most of our students, when they come to class, sometimes they'll shoot with stuff, but a lot of times they just do it slick to get the technique down. So it works either way. We're fine with whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, what we've got to focus on is we got to focus on being able to get down and get into that kneeling position. Now, the thing is, standing, that's easy. We don't really have to do anything other than move around from place to place or to go break angles and all that. But when we get in the kneeling position, some people struggle. Sometimes people struggle to get down, or getting up is much more hard for a lot of people to do. One thing you can do to help you get up, one thing is if I'm in the kneeling position and I'm down here like this, one thing that you can do to really take a lot of pressure off that front knee is, what I do is I'll push with my heel and step slightly backwards, push off of this and step backwards. And what that does is that takes a lot of pressure off of my knee. If I try to stand straight up, that puts a lot of pressure on that knee joint. A lot of people have knee injuries, right? A lot of people are even older, maybe in their 60s, 70s, and I've even had people in their 80s, and it's tough. That cartilage goes away. I've also had people with blown out knees, ACL injuries, MCL injuries, patella, people that have had previous tears. And so it's hard for them to get up. We'll also talk about fitness level. Sometimes people at various stages of their life, for whatever reason, they may not be able to get that PT and that physical training in like they used to. So sometimes, just getting down and getting up can be a little bit difficult for a lot of people out there. If that's the case, what you can really do is the same thing I talked about. Plant your heel in, and then rather than trying to stand straight up, just push slightly back, and that takes a lot of pressure off of your knee. Now, sometimes people can't get into that traditional kneeling position, so what I'll have them do is just have them get down and then lean forward like this, and that takes off a lot of pressure off of the rear knee and a lot of that ankle, and we can still get some good stability out of this position right here. And once again, if I want to stand up, we just push back and up, and that really takes a lot of pressure off. But I want you to think about what this does. From a healthy standpoint, if we're younger, we got mobility, we got the strength to do it, what we can do is that we can, if we had to do this a bunch of times, especially with plates on or with armor, that can get very tiring, especially if you do 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. That gets very tiring. So when we do this, that technique will help you. Here's something else that you can do. I'm doing this in my full equipment, and I'm doing this with my rifle, of course. One other thing you can do is work on lunges. So, and you can do this even in your house. You can do this down your hallway. You can do this in a basement. You can do this in where you've got a little bit of length to be able to do this. So we can work on lunges. Now, obviously, I've got my plate carrier, my loadout, and my rifle. So that adds about 35 pounds or so. So what we can do is we can do lunges with this. And so what I like to do is I just simply go down and do my lunges, just like so. And what this does is I do, maybe 10 one direction, and then turn around, and then just do the exact same thing coming back. I just do my lunges, and I can do this all day long because we're using proper technique and we're building our quads and our knees up. And you can do stuff like that. If you don't want to wear your stuff, or if you don't have any of this stuff, what you can do, I would grab milk jugs and I would fill them up with water. And you can do that. You fill up a gallon of milk jug, you got 8 pounds in each hand. So think about that. You can do those lunges, 10 one way, 10 back the other. That's 16 pounds. Less than a rifle. Well, some of you guys' rifles anyway. And so you can do that, and that'll help you be able to do these lunges as well. I know some guys, it's really hot out today, guys. So one thing that we do with tool bags, like your DeWalt or your Milwaukee or whatever you're using, fill those with sand. You can fill them with playground sand. I got a link for that. And you can do your farmer's walks or your lunges with that as well. And it's very helpful to be able to do that. So one thing that you can do, no matter what stage of fitness that you're at, that will help you get in and get out of the kneeling position. One other thing you can do, obviously you're gonna mind your muzzle direction. We can also hold our rifle up like this, and we can do our squats just like this, body weight rifle squats. That will help you as well with your conditioning. So do that over and over and over again, no matter what stage of fitness that you're at. If you can't do sets of 10, start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Build yourself up, because these are the things we have to do. We have to be able to get down in the kneeling, got to be able to get back up. And overall, I think it helps people when they see this perspective. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot the kneeling position for you. I shoot kneeling from 75 to 50 yards generally. We can shoot it much farther than that, but typically I do shoot kneeling from 75 to 50. So this is what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do today is we're going to shoot 75-yard kneeling and talk about the position and talk about why it's so important to be able to use. Now, if you guys want other drills, I also have these in my American Rifleman book and well-regulated book as well, but there really isn't a substitution for hands-on instruction in person in class. People that have come here and taken our classes across the board say that they wish they would have done it earlier, and that there's really not anything better than coming out and getting eyes-on instruction from people that can help you. So kneeling position here, got camera downrange on the target. I'm going to shoot some rounds from the kneeling position and show you guys from that kneeling position, and it's a good drill to work on. It's a good position to work on. All right, let's go check them. All right, guys, so you see our target right here, good shots, about a 2-inch group. Like I said, I was kneeling 75, so if I was shooting for just group, I could do better. I'd probably set up on my natural point aim a little bit more centered up, but once again, we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we're shooting good groups. So as I said, it's about a 2-inch group from the kneeling position, as you can see right there. All good hits. Like I said, guys, normally I take a little bit extra time to get my natural point of aim a lot more centered up, and they would be centered up, but I just want to show you, we can drop down, get in that position, make good shots. You should be able to group, you know, close to that if you're doing this stuff. Like I said, I'm shooting irons, so shoot those just as well as anything else. So 2-inch group, 75-yard kneeling right there. I'll take that any day. Good hits. And so, like I said, if your range doesn't have 75, hey, get it closer to 50. If you don't have 50, do it at 25. You can do all this stuff. And so the kneeling position is certainly one of those positions that we want to make sure that we are doing our fundamentals and our technique correctly. There are a couple variations of it. Cover those in my Rifleman book, as I said. But there's really no substitution coming out here and getting some good learning and good hands-on instruction for you. Hope this information helps you. If you found the information helpful, go ahead and follow me on social media, subscribe to the channel, and even better yet, come on out and come train with us. I think you'd be happy that you did. This is Reid Henrichs, Valor, reminding you, the lessons that we learn written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.